I am Natasha, Busst, and this is Nightline, the top stories. UN inquiry says Israel has committed genocide in Gaza. And floods worsen in Sabah, almost 3,000 people evacuated. A United Nations Commission of Inquiry has found that Israel's war on Gaza is a genocide, a landmark moment after nearly 2 years of war. Its chairwoman, Navi Pillay, on Tuesday said the findings hold Israeli leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and President Isaac Herzog responsible. According to the report, the Commission found that in addition to statements made by the Israeli officials, there was circumstantial evidence supporting a finding of genocidal intent. It concluded there are reasonable grounds to believe that 4 of the 5 acts constituting genocide under international law have been committed since the war with Hamas began in 2023, killing group members, causing serious bodily or mental harm, deliberately creating destructive living conditions, and preventing births. The Commission's 72-page legal analysis is the strongest finding issued so far by a UN-affiliated body, though it operates independently and does not officially represent the United Nations. The Zionist military launched a campaign in Gaza in response to the unprecedented Hamas-led attack on southern Israel on October 7, 2023, in which about 1,200 people were killed. Meanwhile, at least 78 people have been killed in Israeli airstrikes across Gaza since dawn, as residents report heavy, relentless bombardment amid the military's expanded ground offensive. Israeli warplanes reportedly launched heavy airstrikes across Gaza City, targeting Al-Daraj in the center, Beach Refugee Camp in the west, and Sheikh Radwan in the north. The Zionist military said it was gradually advancing into Gaza City as part of the next phase of its offensive, involving expanding air and ground operations and a daily increase in troop numbers. Earlier, Palestinians searched through the rubble in Gaza after Israel's intense overnight bombing, with residents saying children were recovered in pieces.
قامت الطائرات بقصف للبيت هذا اللي هو بيت دار زكوت أبو كمال الله يرحمه عمي بكون وموجودين فيه طبعا تقريبا ما يعادل 50 نفر ما بين أطفال ونساء وما مش عارف أنا ليش قصفوه يعني طلعنا أطفال أشلاء.
في الليل لهم بضربوا مربع كامل 3 دور طبعا بالدور اللي حواليها كلهم أطفال أولاد صغار كبار نساء كله تحت الردم طلعنا بيجي 10 وضايل الباقي تحت الردم.
Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim will convey Malaysia's firm stance on the issue of Gaza and Israel's attack on Qatar during his meeting with United States President Donald Trump at the ASEAN summit next month. As ASEAN chair, Anwar said Malaysia will also highlight its solidarity with the Palestinian people at the meeting to draw the attention of major world leaders.
Dan saya percaya sebelum sidang ASEAN dalam pertemuan dengan Presiden Donald Trump Amerika Syarikat, kita akan menggunakan juga kesempatan itu untuk mengajak untuk beliau memahami sikap dan pendirian Malaysia yang tegas untuk mencapai keadilan bagi semua, termasuk bagi Gaza dan Palestin.
Anwar said this at a press conference after attending the extraordinary Arab Islamic Summit in Doha. He added Malaysia's participation in the summit at the invitation of the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, demonstrated the unity of Islamic and Arab nations in strongly condemning Israel's actions and expressing full solidarity with Qatar. Earlier, when delivering Malaysia's national statement at the summit, at the invitation of the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, demonstrated the unity of Islamic and Arab nations in strongly condemning Israel's actions and expressing full solidarity with Qatar. Earlier, when delivering Malaysia's national statement at the summit, Anwar urged severe punitive measures against Israel, which he said continues to oppress the Palestinian people and flagrantly violating international law by attacking other countries. He said Israel's aggression was no longer confined to Gaza, but had also extended to Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon. Anwar also stressed that while many nations had voiced strong positions, statements alone were insufficient and must be followed by decisive action, including severing all diplomatic and trade ties with Israel, particularly by Arab countries. The number of flood evacuees in Sabah has risen to 2,813 individuals from 752 families. The figure marks an increase from 2,468 people recorded on Tuesday morning across 5 affected districts. Currently, the evacuees are housed at 21 temporary relief centers, PPS, and 1 permanent relief center spanning 95 villages. Penampang remains the worst-hit district, with 940 evacuees from 232 families. Membakut is the next most affected, with 815 people from 232 families, followed by Putatan with 538 people from 135 families. Meanwhile, Beaufort reported 273 evacuees from 83 families, while Papar recorded 247 people from 70 families. After nearly 18 hours of searching, the body of the final victim of the landslide tragedy in Kampung Marahangana, Papar, Sabah, has been recovered. The body of 10-year-old Kemi Aspiranda Benny was found at 8:45 p.m. on Monday and extricated at 1:40 a.m. on Tuesday. The search and rescue operation, led by the Fire and Rescue Department with assistance from police, military and other agencies, concluded at 2:05 a.m. Kemi was the last of 3 victims who died when a wooden house in Kampung Maragang Tuntol was buried by a landslide on Monday. The bodies of her mother, 34-year-old Wong Moy Ling, and younger brother, 6-year-old Kristen Kel Benny, were recovered on Monday afternoon. Their remains were handed over to police for further action. A total of 13 fatalities have been recorded due to landslides in Sabah so far. The government will provide temporary housing for families affected by the landslides in Kampung Muk and Kampung Marahang Tuntol, Papar. Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Minister Dato' Armizan Muhammad Ali, who is also the Member of Parliament for Papar, said discussions will also be held with Limbahu Assemblyman Dato' Juel Nuatim to coordinate assistance for the victims. According to Armizan, talks will be held with the affected families to relocate them either to People's Housing Project PPR units or rental homes. The housing assistance will be in addition to the 10,000 ringgit compensation aid announced earlier by the state government.
Kita akan berbincang dengan mereka untuk pindahkan mereka sementara sama ada di PPR berdekatan ataupun rumah sewa. Sementara penilaian risiko dibuat terhadap kawasan rumah mereka yang betul-betul berdekatan dengan cerun bukit.
For now, all victims have been placed at the village halls of Kampung Muk and Kampung Marahang Tuntol, which have been converted into PPS. Commenting on the collapse of the low-level bridge across Sungai Kaiduan on September 13th, the minister gave his assurance that the government would look into a long-term solution. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi has ordered the immediate installation of a Bailey Bridge across Sungai Kaiduan. The move is aimed at preventing further disruption to connectivity after the bridge collapse, which cut off air access to the area. In a statement, he said the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, had already supplied 3 modular steel bridge units to the Sabah government last year. He also called on the Sabah Public Works Department, JKR, and the Royal Engineer Regiment to move quickly and install the structure at the affected area. He added that Sabah JKR is also repairing infrastructure along the Penampang-Tambunan Road with the concession company after landslides affected the main route. Zahid also noted that debris is being cleared with slope stabilization and immediate repairs underway, including rebuilding a severed suspension bridge, reconstructing retaining walls, and repairing collapsed roads. Police are investigating 3 separate cases involving videos circulated on social media platform TikTok containing elements of sedition, insults, hostility, as well as for misuse of royal symbols. Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Department CID Director Dato' M. Kumar said all 3 cases are being probed by the Classified Crime Investigation Unit. The first case involves a former civil servant who allegedly made comments that are deemed seditious and insulting towards the government and national leaders. The second case relates to a man who posted content questioning the government's handling of the Kampung Sungai Baru issue, remarks that could potentially incite hostility among groups in the country. Meanwhile, the third case concerns a video showing a family dressed in ceremonial royal-style attire during an Akika event. Kumar stressed that all 3 cases highlight the misuse of social media and digital content to spread sedition, insults, and hostility within society. He also said firm action without compromise will be taken against those involved. All the cases are being investigated under the Sedition Act, the Penal Code, the Communications and Multimedia Act, as well as the Emblems and Names Prevention of Improper Use Act. A mother and son were among 8 enforcement agency officers arrested by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC in Negeri Sembilan in connection with a counter-setting investigation. Authorities also seized approximately 80,000 ringgit in cash and jewellery worth an estimated 50,000 ringgit from the duo. The arrests were made under Operentas, an ongoing nationwide operation spanning 4 states that began last Tuesday. Additional assets confiscated included mobile devices valued at 20,000 ringgit, 2 vehicles worth 106,000 ringgit, and 2 motorcycles worth 20,000 ringgit. From the other 6 suspects, including a woman, the MACC seized over 270,000 ringgit in cash, various foreign currencies, and jewellery. In addition, the graft buster also froze financial accounts in Tabung Haji and Amanah Saham Bumiputra, ASB, totaling 1 million ringgit. MACC Senior Director of Intelligence, Datuk Saiful Ezral Arifin, said the suspects are believed to have received bribes in exchange for facilitating the unauthorized entry of foreigners into the country. He added that investigations are ongoing and further arrests have not been ruled out. Moving on, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has emphasized that an independent and sovereign nation must remain united. Speaking at the National Level Malaysia Day 2025 celebration in Butterworth on Tuesday evening, he said hatred, prejudice, racial and religious bigotry, as well as narrow regionalism must be eliminated to safeguard the nation's survival. In his speech, Anwar also stated that the colonial legacy that once impoverished the country must be replaced with a bold, transparent, and inclusive economic agenda that guarantees well-being for all. The celebration, which drew more than 10,000 people from all walks of life, was graced by Pulau Pinang Governor Tun Ramli Ngah Talib and his wife, Puan Raja Nura Ashikin Raja Abdullah. The highlight of the evening was the ceremonial signing of the Malaysia Day 2025 commemorative book by Anwar, Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Amar Douglas Ugah Embas, and Sabah Deputy Chief Minister, Datuk Syahelmi Yahya. During the event, the crowd was also treated to a cultural showcase, a grand musical finale, and a fireworks display. Now, Malaysia Day is more than a celebration of the nation's formation. It's a reminder of the people's enduring spirit of togetherness. But in today's digital era, new challenges are emerging. The question is, how can Malaysians navigate the online world responsibly while protecting the harmony that defines the nation? Nightline's Muhammad Nadir Asfar reports.
Unity has always been the defining strength that makes Malaysia unique. With over 35 million people of diverse races, religions and cultures, togetherness has long been the foundation of the nation's identity and resilience. Yet throughout history, Malaysians have faced threats that at times tested the very fabric of the country's multicultural society. Today, the rise of artificial intelligence and bots is amplifying these threats. According to Malaysian Cyber Consumer Association (MCCA) President Siraj Jalil, malicious actors are exploiting these technologies to spread hate messages aimed at sowing division.
The criminal or maybe the syndicates can create hundreds of social media accounts through hundreds of phones in one system. It means that one PC, one computer can represent hundreds of phones, for example. Then hundreds of phones can represent various of social media accounts.
Siraj shared tips and cautionary steps Malaysians can take in order to detect AI and fake accounts online.
To test to see by what year they and up to what activity normally they post it. Some of the account doesn't have a consistent image of themselves. So if you can see that normal people using social media, you can see the timeline of the accounts.
Meanwhile, social activist and Alliance for Safe Community chairman Tan Sri Lee Lam Tai warns that online postings can easily spill over into real-world tensions.
If we look at the examples of other countries where, there have been cases of, violence, cases of riots and so on. We can recognize the fact that anything that appears in social media, it is something that can be very destructive if it turns out, to be something that can affect the racial harmony of the country.
He urged Malaysians to do their part in safeguarding the spirit of unity and togetherness to nurture the sense of harmony in our multicultural society.
As far as Malaysia is concerned, it is the responsibility of each and every Malaysian, irrespective of race, irrespective of where they are, that it is to their interest that they must continue to sustain the unity in the country and to play their respective part, in this process.
Everyday Malaysians also shared how they handle hate comments on social media.
If it's like something that can stir up issue, I will report it. I will try my best to report it, and we will, because the comments were like too much of hatred, or I will even reply. I got some of the TikToks, I got reply also.
Lately, I choose to ignore it because it is so much toxic in it that I think the more we stir, the more problem will come out.
AI and fake accounts may try to spread hate online, but unity is not built on algorithms and screens. It is built on Malaysians standing together, choosing harmony over division. Muhammad Nadir Asfar, TV3.
Pickup driver killed in lorry crash. This and more after this breather.
Susah buat pilihan. Boleh tolong saya?
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini. Isnin, keutamaan Al-Qawwam. Selasa, Islam mendamaikan. Rabu, tak lunas, tak lepas. Khamis, teladani sifat Al-Faruq. Jumaat, contohi kesabaran Nabi. Sabtu, berhala moden. Ahad, neraca tenang dan gelisah. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9. Stream juga melalui Tonton.
Wanita Hari. Cuaca panas dapat makan aiskrim penikmat kan?
Macam-macam lagi menu berais yang menyejukkan.
Malaysia penuh dengan hidangan dan juga budaya yang unik.
Kenali tarian dan masakan dari Sabah Sarawak.
Reunion ni seronok ke tidak sebenarnya?
Ada yang bertemu jodoh, ada yang membawa haluan lain.
Nak cantik tu boleh, tapi jangan sampai memudaratkan diri.
Jangan menyesal di kemudian hari.
Antara BFF dan juga pasangan, siapa lebih utama?
Jangan biarkan hidup anda dalam dilema.
Semuanya di WHI TV3.
Dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Wanita Hari ini.
Apabila datang, ia boleh mengambil alih kesemuanya tubuh, minda dan hidup anda. Stres bukan sekadar tekanan perasaan tetapi boleh mengancam kesihatan secara keseluruhan. Kenalilah tanda-tanda stres sejak awal dan bincang mengenainya secara terbuka. Dapatkan sokongan moral dan emosi daripada orang di sekeliling anda serta bantuan profesional di saluran yang betul. Saksikan Hello Doktor Ahad 5:30 petang di TV3.
Nightline continues. 12 Malaysian tourists were injured in an accident in India after the van they were travelling in plunged 100 feet into a ravine near Velai Parai in Kodaikanal on Sunday evening. The Foreign Ministry, through the Consulate General of Malaysia in Chennai, said all passengers had been rescued and given immediate medical treatment. It said several of the victims suffered minor injuries, while 4 sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries. According to local media, the driver reportedly lost control of the van while going down a hilly road before being stopped by trees that prevented it from falling further. Locals immediately rushed to help extract the victims from the vehicle, and they were taken to the Kodaikanal Government Hospital for treatment. A man was killed while his wife and 2 children were injured in a crash involving a pickup truck and a lorry on the East Coast Expressway Phase 2 in Kemaman, Terengganu on Tuesday. The family of 4 was travelling home to Kuantan, Pahang from Kuala Terengganu when the accident occurred near the Jabur Toll Plaza at around 7 a.m.
The pickup truck driver, 50-year-old Ahmad Suhaimi Kadir, died at the scene from severe head injuries. His wife, 50-year-old Suzita Othman, and their 2 children aged 7 and 14 sustained minor injuries and are currently receiving treatment at Tengku Ampuan Afsan Hospital. The lorry driver and his attendant were also hurt and taken to the same hospital for treatment. Kemaman Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Razi Rosli said the pickup truck driver is believed to have suddenly stopped his vehicle at the side of the highway before it was struck from behind by the lorry. The impact caused the lorry to lose control, crash into the highway railing and overturn onto its side nearly 90 meters from the point of collision. Ahmad Suhaimi's body was later brought to Kemaman Hospital's forensic unit for post-mortem. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act.
The excavator operator involved in the quarry rockfall in Ulugali Rao, Pahang last Saturday has been found dead. The body of 30-year-old Muhammad Fazul Ilahi Abdul Rahman was discovered buried 5 meters beneath the rubble. According to the Pahang Fire and Rescue Department, the victim's body was found at 4:15 p.m. on Tuesday near the spot where he was reported missing.
Mangsa ditemui oleh pasukan SAR. Kedalaman tempat dijumpai adalah lebih kurang 5 meter dalam. And then daripada tempat mangsa jatuh bersama excavator tu, mangsa yang lompat keluar daripada excavator tu lebih kurang 40 kaki.
In the 12:50 p.m. incident, the victim was reported buried while 3 foreign quarry workers were injured. The search and rescue operation involved nearly 70 personnel from various agencies. The body was sent to Raub Hospital for post-mortem.
Sifei Izzuddin survived scare in China Masters opener. The details when Nightline returns.
Fazli suka bercuti dekat mana kalau cuti panjang?
Saya tak kisah asalkan sesuai dengan keluarga.
Selain meriah dengan percutian, Malaysia juga saling meraikan perpaduan dan menghormati budaya bangsa antara satu sama lain.
Daya, masa kita kecil dahulu kan cukup berbeza tau dengan sekarang. Jadi kita nak ketahui kaedah terbaik didikan awal kanak-kanak masa kini.
Bercakap mengenai jangka panjang, bagaimana dengan industri kedai runcit untuk masa hadapan? Isnin hingga Jumaat jam 10 pagi.
Stream melalui tonton juga eksklusif di TV3.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini. Isnin, keutamaan Al-Qawwam. Selasa, Islam mendamaikan. Rabu, tak lunas, tak lepas. Khamis, teladani sifat Al-Faruq. Jumaat, contohi kesabaran Nabi. Sabtu, berhala moden. Ahad, neraca tenang dan gelisah. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9. Stream juga melalui tonton.
Suspek ini dipercayai telah melakukan pembunuhan dan seterusnya melupuskan mangsa.
Khalil Salvan bersama seorang lagi yang masih bebas dituduh membunuh Nur Rahayu Kamarudin.
Saya ingat macam saya cakap tadilah, remaja hilang biasa. Tapi bila saya terdengar satu perkara tu, satu benda yang dia cakap, suara ayu menjerit sebelum dia hilang.
Dan kawan dia cakap, tak boleh macam ni, nanti polis tahu. Kau tinggal macam ni, nanti masalah. Kau pergi bakar balik.
Hai kawan-kawan, kawan-kawan pernah tak rasa tak selesa bila ada orang cuba sentuh badan kita? Kawan-kawan ingat tahu badan kita ni milik kita. Kalau ada orang sentuh tapi izin, korang cakap tidak. Lepas tu korang bagi tahu ibu bapa ataupun cikgu ataupun kakak dan abang, okey?
Betul tu. Ingat, tak ada orang yang boleh buat kita rasa takut dan tak selesa. Kita berhak rasa selamat dan dilindungi.
The foreign front. Israel has confirmed it launched an attack against Yemen's port of Hodeidah in its latest round of strikes against the country, which it says is targeting the Houthis. Local media reported that Israel carried out 12 airstrikes on Tuesday, which the Zionist military said were in response to Houthi military activity in the area. Hours before the attack against the Red Sea coast city, the Zionist military, which claimed the Houthis were using the port to receive weapons from Iran, had issued a threat to evacuate the area. Since the Zionist regime launched its genocidal war on Gaza, the Houthis have carried out drone and missile attacks against it in solidarity with Palestinians under fire. Heavy rains on Tuesday have caused widespread devastation in Uttarakhand, northern India, with floodwaters damaging homes and sweeping away cars in several towns and cities. The nearby state of Himachal Pradesh was also hit by intense rains, with at least 3 people reportedly killed in a landslide. The Weather Department has issued a heavy rainfall alert for the region as rescue officials continue to evacuate people from the affected areas. India regularly witnesses severe floods during the monsoon season, which runs between June and September. Robert Redford, the beloved Oscar-winning actor and director, has died at the age of 89 on Tuesday. His publicist said the Hollywood legend passed away in his sleep at his home in Utah with no specific cause given. Renowned for iconic roles in Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid and All the President's Men, Redford also found success behind the camera, winning an Academy Award for Ordinary People and directing films like A River Runs Through It. He founded the Sundance Institute and its famous film festival, nurturing generations of independent filmmakers. A passionate environmentalist, Redford spent much of his life in Utah, campaigning to protect the landscapes of the state and the American West. On to sports now, badminton. The 2025 China Masters got underway in Shenzhen on Tuesday, with Malaysia off to a promising start as 2 of 4 representatives advanced to the second round. The men's doubles pair of Go Sifei and Nur Izzuddin Ramsani were the main attraction, digging deep to edge Indonesia's Rian Ardianto and Yeremia Rambitan. The former world number ones fought back from a game down to win 12-21, 21-11, 22-20. The Malaysian pair, who have been on a poor run of form, will next face Taiwan's Lee Jae-hui, Yang Po-swan. But it was the end of the road for Noor Azrin Ayub and Tan Wee Kiong, who crashed out to Taiwan's Lee Fang-chi and Lee Fang-jen despite forcing a decider. The Malaysian duo went down 12-21, 21-18, 12-21. In the mixed doubles, Goh Soon Huat and Siobhan Lai advanced after beating compatriots Wang Tianqi and Lim Chiu Sien in straight games, 21-17, 21-12.
The world number 8 pair will next meet Taiwan's Ye Hongwei and Nicole Gonzalez-Chan for a place in the quarterfinals.
Moving on to football and the A1 Semi-Pro League. JDT 2 cruised to a 4-0 victory over Perlis GSA at the Tuanku Said Putra Stadium on Monday. The visitors were dominant from the start, going 3-up by half-time. Shukur Faris opened the scoring in the 9th minute, with Ziad El Bashir doubling the advantage just 7 minutes later. Jean Franco Granja added a third in the 32nd before Shafizan Arshad sealed the rout with a 57th minute strike. The win lifts JDT 2 to 7th in the standings with 6 points from 3 matches, while Perlis GSA remains 10th on 4 points after 4 games. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at Malaysia Day celebrations across the country, where Malaysians from all walks of life united in festive spirit. With that, I'm Natasha. Thank you for watching and stay safe.